Hey everybody, how you doing? It's that time of the night for Paranormal Bellaire House YouTube reaction video. I'm Kristen Lee, owner of the Bellaire House, and let's just get started. People stop calling the Bellaire House the Demon House. It's Bellaire House. Here we go. Some hocus pocus.
It's Hailey, Reese, and for today's video, I am super excited because this is a paranormal case and a haunted location that I've wanted to talk about and share with you guys for quite some time now, and that is the Bellaire house. I know it might seem like I've been gone for so long and like I'm not as interested in creating content, but it's actually the polar opposite, you guys. I've been wanting to upload 5 to 7 videos a week for a while now. It's what satisfies me the most. I love creating content. I love posting content. And so in order for me to have 5 to 7 top quality videos a week for you guys, I took about a week-ish, maybe a little more off to get all of the videos that I wanted to do in order, figure out what needs to be researched,
I'm all about girl power and boy power and people power and
to watch every
you're pretty
single day.
and you're
So
professional.
thank you so much
for
all of your patience, but we are back. I should also say, I was planning to be back yesterday. However, I filmed the entire video, you guys, only to import the files and realize that the microphone that I used to film with had completely died and there was zero audio to any of it.
Sucks.
So out of my frustrations, I decided to sleep on it, get back here, film it again, because all I needed was a little time to get like re-excited. And so here we are, finally talking about a very spooky paranormal case. Today, like I said, we are going to be talking about the Bellaire house, which interestingly and freakily enough is actually more often referred to as the Bellaire demon house.
No, it's not. No, stop calling it that. Please, people, stop calling it that.
The Bellaire demon house is known by many to be the home of what some believe to be evil, but overall darkness. And hidden in those walls is such a darkness that very few are able to stay for long at all. So what exactly is this home? Why is there said demonic forces in it? Which spirits occupy it and what made it the way it is? That is what we're about to get on into. So sit back, relax, maybe turn a light on, maybe, and let's get into the Bellaire demon house.
No!
So it all
not
started
demon.
with a man by the name of Jacob Hetherington. Now, Jacob Hetherington actually owned coal mines in the Ohio Valley and built the Bellaire house with his trusted mule, Jack.
No.
Now, an interesting fact
Incorrect.
about this is that the nursery rhyme, the house that Jack built, is
originated
actually
in
thought to
England,
have been
where he was
created
from.
based off of Jack building the Bellaire house.
No, Jack built the house that Jack
Jacob
built.
Hetherington would reside with his family, and
Not
the
the
house was
Bellaire house.
actually positioned on top of coal mine number 1.
Yay!
Now, this is where
Woohoo! She got it.
Super interesting, you guys. This particular home was said to be built in front of a Native American burial cave or Native American burial caves.
Where?
And even more interesting, the house sits on top of ley lines. Now, ley lines are unseen connecting important physical and spiritual markers for ancient cultures. So, between the Native American burial caves behind the home and the ley lines that it was positioned on top of, it was really no wonder that this home was kind of a spiritual marker. Now, Jacob's son, Alex Hetherington, was actually documented to have been checked into a lunatic asylum due to loss of manners and a failing business, which I can presume would be a very difficult time. And while that's not any bit of correlation to the hauntings in the house, it kind of sets a tone that there was some sort of struggles going on within the home as well. Now, Jacob Hetherington would pass away in 1904, and the house would actually be passed down to his granddaughter, which was the daughter of his son, Alex Hetherington, Eliza Hetherington, who actually went by Lyle Hetherington. Now, in 1947,
lied in the house. It
rhymes. She is said to have died in the living room.
Lied dies, right. Not the living room.
Here's where things take the real dark turn. Now, Lyle had a brother named Edwin, and Edwin was so distraught by the death of Lyle that he began reaching out to psychics and mediums and started performing within the home rituals and seances in an attempt to contact his deceased sister. Now, it's thought that in doing so, he opened up portals in that home that he was unable to close.
Right.
Now, it's not too unlikely that a portal will be able to be opened, considering that just behind the home, like I said, was the Native American burial caves, and the house was positioned on a spiritual marker. It was positioned on ley lines. So that, combined with his desperation to communicate with his sister, could have brought forward other things as well. And many people believe that it did. Now, Edwin Hetherington passed away in 1962, and after that, the home was passed on from owner to owner, tenant to tenant, and nobody would stay in the house for long whatsoever until it eventually just became abandoned. Now, during this time, one thing that's really important to note is that while the home lay abandoned, many locals would continuously see shadows and humanoid figures walking in the property, although they all chopped it up to, oh, teenagers have broken into the abandoned space, or people are exploring the abandoned space, and never thought that perhaps it might be something much darker going on. With that being said though, many locals had a very uneasy feeling about the property. It was one of those places that you didn't really want to look at when you were passing by, and you just felt this overall sense of something not being right. And that's where it takes us in to Kristen Lee. Now, in 2005, Kristen Lee would purchase the home at a foreclosure sale for just $46,000.
I feel that energy. The way you moving and grooving, dripping and shaking, sliding, gliding. And even if you
Now, she'd never heard of the home before. She was unfamiliar with the history of the home, but she just lost her home to a flash flood. So to get such a great deal on a property, she felt like it was almost too good to be true and couldn't understand why she'd gotten such a great deal on
It was Bellaire.
Now, it's also important to say that while things may have immediately started to begin in the house, Kristen is a trained psychologist, so she was continuously trying to find a logical or reasonable explanation for anything that was occurring in the home, and was continuously chalking it up to excuses like, I must be overtired, I must be seeing things, I must be really stressed, I'm unfamiliar with the home. And there was always, for the beginning there, some sort of
watched a lot of interviews
or a logical explanation to what she'd been experiencing in the home. Her first paranormal experience in the home was when she was sleeping on the couch one night. She awoke to a man standing in the room, and she looked at him and began questioning him as to who he was and what he was doing in there. And when she began to question him, he kind of walked away and disappeared into thin air. And that was when the room went so cold she could literally see her breath. And she even questioned, number one, her sanity, but also if she'd really seen somebody. Like, it was so real to her. It was kind of around this time that Kristen started to question whether or not there was something more going on, as she'd seen that man, but she was also hearing footsteps in the attic, footsteps in general, hearing voices. Things were going missing, just strange things were happening. But it wasn't until whatever was in that home turned violent that she realized something much darker was going on. It wasn't until Kristen's dog, Bella, was actually picked up by unforeseen forces and slammed against the wall, and Kristen was held down by these unseen forces as well, that she realized this was getting stronger. And this was really violent. This wasn't a kind spirit. This was a spirit that had the ability to pick her dog up and slam it against the wall and pin her down. So at this point, she realized she wanted nothing more to do with the home, and even attempted to file bankruptcy to get rid of it. Kristen would try everything to get rid of this house. She would have tenants, but each tenant's stay would be very short-lived, as they too would be experiencing not only odd happenings and paranormal activity, but what seemed to be bad luck that even involved death in some instances. So nobody would stay long in the home. She could not hold a tenant, and she did not want the property. She even tried to sell the house back to the city for $1, and the city actually wound up refusing because they'd taken note that none of the locals wanted anything to do with the house, that all of the locals were very uneasy about the spirits in the home, and so they refused to purchase the home back for $1, thus making the home pretty unsellable, and Kristen was stuck with the home still in 2010. So who are these spirits that are known in the home? Now that we kind of have the history of the home, who resides in there? And is there really a demon? Now, there's a lot of people that believe that there are multiple spirits in this home, and some are more popular than others, and we'll get into that in a moment, but there's certain people who believe that this home isn't really home to spirits at all. It's home to demonic entities. It's home to a demonic energy that can manifest itself as a man or a child or whatever you want to perceive or they want to show themselves as, but it's something much more, while others believe that it could very well just be spirits within the home. The most popular go by the name of Emily Davis. Now, there's kind of a misconception surrounding Emily Davis. Some believe, including Kristen, I believe, that Emily Davis is that of a little girl, while others believe that it's a much older spirit.
Kristen also
Others believe that there's two of them, that there's a little Emily Davis and an older Emily Davis.
There is a little one and a big one.
Research shows
does not
nostalgia
believe
can
that
help you
Emily is
remember
just a little
apps.
girl.
So, customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
And the older Emily Davis is said to lure people towards windows in an attempt
That's
to
incorrect.
push them out. No,
That's the
it
little
is
Emily
thought that when
Davis
people
that
go in to
manifests into
investigate
something
this
else
home, the
that
spirits will
isn't a
use the name
child.
Emily Davis to trick investigators into not knowing who they're communicating with
Right?
or what they're communicating with. It's also rumored that a young Emily Davis used to play within the attic of the home and actually knew the Hetheringtons.
That's correct.
And that now she resides up in that room. And
All
they
over
actually
the
have the
house.
room in the home still, and they call it Emily's room. So they believe that it is, in fact, Emily's room. But whether or not Emily is a child or Emily is an older
She's
spirit
not
or
a
there's multiple
child.
Emilys is kind of unknown. There's just an Emily.
She was a
Davis
child.
in the home.
No, she's not
now
a
the
child.
basement is another place that is supposedly home to darkness.
And there's
And
also
another thing
something
that I
there,
should really
which
note
is the
as well
darkness
is
that
even
poses
while
as
people
the
have
child
attempted to
Emily
remove darkness
Davis.
from the home, it always finds its way back in. It's kind of this constant cycle, like that home will just never be cleared. That home is the home of that entity or those entities.
Right.
These spirits are dark, violent, and some even deem, like I mentioned, demonic.
And some are
And
sweet
it's
and
actually
healing
said that
and
when
loving.
you set foot within that home, you should never speak about your family, your loved ones, your pets, anything to do with your life.
In the
because
beginning,
they
it
are
was
so
like that,
evil, they
yes.
will utilize it as leverage.
Yep.
Now, Kristen Lee actually wrote a book in 2013 about
Horrible
her
book, don't buy
experiences
it.
within the home.
Second
and
book
it was
will be out
titled
soon. It's way better.
1699 Belmont Street, A Portal
I hate
to
that book.
Hell. She actually has a second book in the works right now as well that's going to go into more detail and have more information about the
Good girl.
Hetheringtons. Today,
Thank you.
the home is actually still owned by Kristen Lee and is open to tourists to come and explore and investigate. So that leads me to my next question. Do you guys want me to go to the Bellaire Demon House? I'm kind of on the fence about it because on one hand, it's so fascinating to me, it's intriguing, and it really makes me want to go and experience it for myself. But on the other hand, these spirits are known to be violent. However, I would definitely take the proper precautions, and so if you guys want me to go to the Bellaire Demon House, let me know in the comments below. But that is essentially an overview of what that home is.
Not bad.
It's not unlikely to me that seances and rituals may have opened up a portal. A lot of people also say that there was a lot of coal mine explosions and that perhaps there could be spirits from that, or the spirits are coming from the Native American burial grounds. But nonetheless, there is definitely something going on in the Bellaire house, and I guess we'll never truly know what really lives within those walls. Well, you guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I've wanted to talk about the Bellaire Demon House for quite some time now, so I'm excited that I finally did. Like I let you guys know in the beginning half of this video, I'm going to be uploading 5 to 7 videos a week now, and I'm prepped for it. This is happening, no ifs, ands, or buts. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time, I love you guys.
Okay. This girl is very beautiful, lovely girl, great energy. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, I give her 5. I don't like the Bellaire house being called the demon house. It's the Bellaire house. We don't call Kroger the demon shopping mart, or Walmart the demonic shopping location, or Hailey Reese is who we just watched. Hailey Demonic Reese, demonic demon girl. Her name is branded Hailey Reese. The Bellaire house is branded the Bellaire house. Bellaire house. So it's really important to help people understand that. Yes, the Bellaire house has a very wicked, ugly, dark, lower energy side to it. Is it demonic? Sometimes it screams that it is. Sometimes it screams demon. You know, we just got back from a 7-day, 8-night investigation with Spirit Realm Network, Sean Austin, Dave Spinks, Eric Connor, Mike Simpson, Jay Williams, Kat Lang, Maria Schmidt, Bob Schmidt, this other special guests that came in, Goat, and we didn't have very lovely experiences. But you know, it could sometimes just be our interpretation of it. It could be fear that feeds it. There's a multitude of things that could be, right? And it's the unknown. We'll never really know, you know? We'll never know, you know? Anyway, but in the Bellaire house, there's also very kind and loving spirits as well. And Lyde, Lyde, which her name was Eliza, she was named after her mother, but to differentiate the two, they called her Lyde as a nickname. So, and some people, try to pronounce her name in the English term, which is Lade, but in the American terms, I don't feel like calling a beautiful woman that's deceased Lade, because we know she ain't getting laid. I'm sorry, but she's not. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be crude, but at least I'm honest. I'm going to keep it real. Keep it on the real. I like the girl. I like the Hailey Reese girl. I like it. Some of the information is incorrect. Had she gotten a hold of me beforehand and asked me just to go over the information with her, I will. Listen, if you guys are going to be doing reaction videos or any kind of videos in reference to the Bellaire house, I'm open. Just shoot me a text. The number is on the website and on the Facebook page and on YouTube and on Twitter and on all those other Twitches and itches and fixes and all that stuff, the stuff that the IT people take care of. But please let me know before you go out there and you start stating incorrect facts, because then I got to clean it up every time a tour comes in or every time somebody calls and I answer the phone in reference to booking the house. You're taking away from my life, and I don't like that. So Miss Hailey Reese, you get a solid 5. If you want to do another video, I'm open to it, but call me first or text me to set up a time. So first of all, I can talk to you about more things that would probably make the story more interesting. And if you're hearing it from my voice, you're going to see it in a picture. Great job, wonderful job. It just should have been better. And that's a lot. I mean, the Bellaire house has a lot of history to cover. It has a lot of depth to it, has a lot of layers to it. I think overall, great job. But man, Demon House, that just burns my buttons, and I don't flipping like that. And I don't, and I can't stand it. And please stop it. So now watch everybody start doing it just to get under my skin. The Bellaire house is trademarked. So, yeah. So anyway, with that all being said, lied. And big deal here. Jack did not help, the mule, Jack, did not help build the Bellaire house. He actually helped build the house that Jack built. And Jacob named his mule after Jack because Jacob was from England. There's an old nursery rhyme that derived in England called "This is the House That Jack Built." Later in life, like Metallica wrote a tribute song to it. Aretha Franklin did a song for it. And then because Jacob was from England, he was here in the States in Bellaire, Ohio, and he decided to name his mule Jack and then pay tribute to Jack when he helped him build the house. But the Jack the donkey, Jack the mule, I don't know why I keep saying he's a donkey. Jack the mule also helped Jacob Hetherington pull carts of coal in and out of the coal mines. And a lot of people don't realize that Jacob rolled up his sleeves, just like I do. And he got in with all of his people that worked with him, worked beside him, and he worked right beside them. And that's how it was. And that's what we do at the Bellaire house. We all work together. And if I got to jump in, which I normally am always jumping in to help, whether it be checking in a team, booking a team, cleaning a toilet, changing a bed, whatever it needs to be done, I'm doing it. So I do take a lot of, it's tough for me to listen to some of these these YouTube videos because the information that's being spread is not true. So here in a little bit after dinner, I'll do another one. All right, guys. So anyway, thank you. Please click in, or goodness gracious, I'm new to YouTube. I should have been on it years ago, but unfortunately we had the wrong people in charge of it. Now I'm in charge of it. So I'm learning it, and my son is helping me, and so is my husband. So later on after dinner, we'll go ahead and we'll fire up the old computer, and we'll find another video, and we'll get to work. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe, please like, please share with your friends. Encourage them to subscribe and like. I'm working real hard to get 1,000 subs because my friend Sean Austin and Eric Connor and Dave Spinks told me that if I can do that, we can do super chat and we can be super awesome and fabulous together. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool to see all your little chats coming up like Eric and Dave and Sean did? And then I'll be like, oh yeah, girl. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, here I go. Don't try and stop me. Thanks.